Hello and welcome to this special series of videos for our Used Car Awards. I'm James Baggett, I'm the founder of Car Dealer Magazine, and today I'm chatting to the winner of our Manufacturer Used Car Scheme of the Year, which is sponsored by Warranty Wise, and the winner is Audi. Congratulations, Audi. Joining me is the Sales Director from Audi UK, Steve Catlin. Steve, very nice to see you. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Huge congratulations on winning this award. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, hi James. Thank you for the invite to be here, and most importantly, thank you for the award. It's obviously a huge accolade for us to be recognised really as having a class-leading used car scheme. So we're delighted. It gives us some real confidence that we're doing the right things in the marketplace and doing everything we can to turn Audi customers into Audi fans. And I guess most of all, that we continue to offer unrivaled peace of mind and value, and that our retail partners continue to offer an amazing customer experience for Audi-approved used vehicles.
So our judges were seriously impressed with the scheme. We mystery shopped all of them, and the mystery shoppers came back about your scheme, saying it offers used car buyers everything they need to have full confidence. The model they'd picked would be up to standard. They said it's got a superb website that helped guide the potential purchaser through the process in a slick and easy to use fashion. Very kind words indeed. I mean, what do they ring true to you, those words?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've spent a lot of time making sure that the approved used program is really customer focused. So we look at how the journey looks from a consumer perspective, and how the handoff happens between customers viewing vehicles on our website versus the experience that they have in our professional network. So we're really pleased that the research that you've done kind of recognises that and shows that it's really a joined up experience between us and the dealer network.
So how important are used cars to Audi as a brand?
Yeah, so Audi, used cars are critically important. And they're important for three reasons. So at the moment, used cars represent a big portion of network profitability from that part of the business. I think they're also important always as used vehicles because they form a critical part of the overall industry ecosystem. So you've got to have a great used car operation, you've got to have the compelling proposition for consumers, and you've got to take that to market in the right way in order to have a good new car business. And ultimately, most of the business that we write from a new car perspective is done on either a PCP or a contract hire funding route. So that means that those customers are coming back and the vehicles are coming back at some point. And if you've got a great used car operation, you can ensure great new car loyalty, which is clearly critical for everybody. And also it strengthens residual values, which is clearly an important part of the new car business as well. So it's important for network profitability now. It's important for the ecosystem overall for vehicle sales. And it will become even more important in the future. If you look at the pressure that the industry is facing with regards to costs from an electrification point of view and from an after-sales revenue perspective, used cars are going to become an even more important part of that ecosystem in the future based on those pressures. So critically important all around.
The used car industry is incredibly competitive, isn't it, at the moment? There's a lot of new entrants coming into the marketplace. Is that why it's so vital to as a manufacturer to have such a good used car scheme?
Yeah, absolutely. So customer loyalty is priority number one for us to turn customers into fans, and ultimately those fans then come back and buy more cars, more services from us in the future. So used cars is a really important part of that. I think the digital ecosystem that we have and that we have with our partners in the network is also critical to that. Yeah, and I think we've seen through the pandemic over the last few months the acceleration of that from our perspective in the industry, but also from a consumer perspective as well. So we're seeing more and more interest from consumers coming through our website at the moment, as you would expect, and therefore that journey is really important to them.
Steve, in the unique position of head of sales at Audi, you've clearly got a very good view of what's happening out there in the marketplace. How are dealers coping with this third lockdown?
Yeah, I think all of the lockdowns have been very different in the way that they look and feel. This third lockdown again takes on its own characteristics. So actually, from a network point of view, we're facing into this really positively. And you can see that from a much greater degree of resource being kept, people being kept in the network, because we know there are customers that are interested in talking to us at the moment. So therefore, we've got to have the people and the resources available to meet that interest. And I think also, collectively with the network, there's been a lot of changes in processes through the learnings over the last 12 months to be able to manage that demand in the right way. So what do customers need online? What level of interaction can they have, either face-to-face, but digitally, or on the phone to meet that demand as well. So I think that's clearly critically important. We are seeing a reduction in demand, and I think that's inevitable at the moment. But in a positive light, we've also got lots of customers that we're talking to, and I think once we're out of the restrictions, fingers crossed, that happens shortly, then I think we'll be in a great position to take advantage of that demand. And those relationships that we've been having with consumers over the last few weeks will come to fruition once showrooms are open again in the near term.
And do you think the changes that dealers have made to their businesses over the last few months will continue going into the future? I mean, do you think the online click and collect world is something that's here to stay and that customers want?
Yeah, we've been talking a lot as an industry about digitalization. It's been a buzzword at every conference and set piece communication activity that everybody's been having over the last couple of years. But frankly, we haven't seen the implementation and the realization of what that actually means as much as we have over the last 9 months. And I think that step change in people's acceptance of a shift to an omni-channel environment, where we have to have the digital infrastructure to meet customers' needs, as well as the physical infrastructure to serve them as well, I think is here to stay. I talked to a lot of network partners that have made that leap and have done so really quickly and are already benefiting from that. And they're benefiting from it not just in the current lockdown, but in the periods that we have had over the last year where showrooms have been able to be open. So yeah, that's absolutely here to stay. Not just from our perspective, but also, as I said before, from a consumer point of view as well, where fundamentally they're using digital infrastructure to be able to do far more of their buying process than they ever have before.
Not an easy time to plan at the moment, and I'm sure it's incredibly difficult for you guys at the manufacturer level. What are you thinking is going to happen towards as this year pans out and these lockdowns ease? And what do you think is going to happen to new car volumes?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to call at the moment on the basis of not really knowing what's going to happen in March. So clearly we've had government communication in England anyway that talks about schools going back potentially on the 8th. I think it really depends how much of March is impacted by showrooms being closed and the current restrictions are in. I think if the public health crisis gets to a point where showrooms are open again in March, then there's a great opportunity to recover the lost volume in the calendar year. I think if it goes on past that, then we face some difficulty versus our original plans. But there's lots of reasons to be optimistic around what the future holds once we do get through this health crisis that we're in.
Do you think there's pent-up demand out there?
Yeah, so most of the business that we write is on a contract basis. So those customers ultimately are facing a decision that they need to make at the end of that contract. That gives us a great ability to talk with those customers and find the right solution for them. And hopefully that solution means that we can move them into another vehicle at the end of their contract and keep that level of customer loyalty, customer experience, and ultimately the volume that follows from there. So yeah, lots of reasons to be optimistic. We're also seeing low levels of personal debt, higher levels of savings. So again, assuming that the overall macroeconomic impact isn't too severe, then we've got a great opportunity for some, use another buzzword, but revenge spending effectively that might come out of that as well. And from a used car point of view, we're also seeing significantly increased demand for older used cars in the marketplace. And again, that represents another great opportunity.
Steve, thank you very much for joining us today. Huge congratulations to you and the team. Probably nice to be kicking off the new year with some good news. And I wish you all the best for the rest of this year as it pans out.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. Nice to see you. So super. Thank you to Steve there for joining us for that. If you'd like to find out who else has won our used car awards, you can log on to cardealermagazine.co.uk and click on the used car tab at the top of the page. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.